Hello, this is Crypto CJ, and it's the first Monday night Zoom of 2022. Feeling pretty good. Rocking my background here. Hope you can see it. And a lot's gone on in the past week or so. We had a kind of a Christmas malaise or dump or whatever you want to call it. We did not reach 100K like so many people thought. So we're going to check out the Bitcoin chart soon. And you'll also see I'm going to take this program in a little different direction. We're going to talk about some new indicators that I've been working with for the past few months. We're going to focus more on divergence. So we're going to learn about that. And also going to talk more candidly about leverage trading. Just to be clear, those of you guys who are new to day trading should really focus on spot trading first, and then graduate to leverage when you're ready. But I have people here from other programs, not necessarily just CryptNation or iCoinPro, who are leverage trading. So I need to try to mix some of that in too. So you'll hear me frequently talk about a spot trade or a leverage trade. I've done some of that in the past couple of months anyway, but you might hear more of that as we go on. So let's get to Bitcoin and check it out. Okay, you guys should be seeing my Bitcoin 5-minute chart. Can I get an amen?
Yeah.
Amen.
All right, thank you. Let's go to the day chart. And what you're going to see that's new are these things right here. This is my divergence indicators. And it's a download off TradingView divergence for many indicators, version 4. It's pretty easy if you want to add this to your own chart. Just go here to your functions, community scripts, type in divergence. And I've got a few of them starred, but this one you'll see under community scripts, and you might want to start it yourself and then click it and add it. So then there's some other adjustments you can make too. I'm not going to go into those right now, but maybe a little bit later. We'll get more. I'll talk more in detail about divergence, but I just wanted to give you a heads up on some of the new stuff you're seeing on the chart. So this is Bitcoin on the day chart. I just drew this little support line over here for the past week or so. 45K seems to be holding. We've dipped below 46 a couple times, but it tends to come back. So hopefully that's the bottom, and we'll bounce up from this early and towards mid-January and work our way back over 50K. That's what I would like to see happen. A little closer look on the 4-hour. Yeah, we've had mostly just this choppiness the past week or so. Pretty big move here on the 31st, but recovered almost all of it. So Bitcoin not incredibly exciting right now. Any questions on Bitcoin before we look at Ethereum? Okay.
I know you're going to get into a little more detail on it, but can you just so I understand, what is exactly divergence? Like just a definition.
Yeah, it's a good question. I am going to go over it a little bit more in detail pretty soon. But just generally, it's when the indicators, like what we have down here, the MFI and the RSI, the MACD, these are pretty common indicators. When those disagree with the price action,
okay.
There can be a sort of a predictive quality to it. So that's what I like about it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll go over that in more detail soon. And okay, so we're on Ethereum, the 4-hour chart, and yeah, I drew this support line here. We went down to about 35.50 or so, and that's been holding as the bottom of Ethereum. Seems like yesterday we were at 4K, but we lost that right after Christmas, and then haven't seen it since. So again, I hope to see Ethereum follow this trend line up, get over 4K at least by the middle of the month, and maybe even up to 5. So kind of pokey so far at the beginning of the year. Another thing is that some institutions could come in with some additional money, and that should push prices up. Not sure if we can count on that, but something to look forward to. So any questions on Bitcoin and Ethereum or the general market? I'm not always good at following
CJ,
news, so if you guys have a news item that we should pay attention to, that would be good too. Was that Laura?
yes. Can Craig, why don't you explain what's going on in your end of the world? Because I assumed everybody was open today as far as markets go, but Craig, can you explain what's really happening today?
Yeah, Laura and I had a bit of a get together earlier this morning. For me, like New Year's Day fell on a Saturday this year, and so for I know probably for most Commonwealth countries, and I'm not sure America as well, but the public holidays, so New Year's Day and the day after, which are public holidays, get transferred to Monday and Tuesday. So by what I'm seeing is the market is still, everyone's still on holiday. That's in market holiday mode. And I see Wednesday, your time, is when it's gonna start changing.
Okay, so some other countries in the world are extending the holidays another day or so. Is another day
Well,
or
they're
two?
not extending them, but it's because they fall in the weekend, they get diverted 2 days. So everyone's like on this part of the world, and I guess England, are still on holiday.
Okay.
So it's New Year holiday still. So
Like the
obviously
majority of
Bank
the world.
holidays. Bank holidays in both Canada and US today.
Okay. All right, that makes
Even
sense.
though the market still moved this morning.
And Japan and China and I'm not sure about the Koreas. Anyway,
Japan's in a very long holiday. They have the New Year. It's about 8 days around New Year, which is holidays.
I like that. We should do that.
Well, most of us, who have jobs, doesn't include me at the moment, but that's okay. Had Friday off, and so it sounds like other parts of the world are having their Monday off. So that would explain the sideways action today. So
yeah,
right, cool.
I'm finding the market quite steady, but volume's low and slow moving.
All right. All right, so let's go to Altcoin Alert, and I'll go over our format again. I did send out a new video. Not sure if you guys saw it. I'm going over the format of the show, or the Zoom call. I keep wanting to call it a show like I'm entertaining you guys, but not sure if it quite rises to that level. But anyway, so as we have in the past, we'll go over Altcoin Alert and iCoinPro on Mondays, and just Altcoin Alert on Fridays. And then I'll stop the recording, and then I'll start a new recording, and we'll go over carbon matters. So if you're over here from carbon, you'll have to wait probably towards the latter part of the hour before we get to things specifically to that. But there's a lot of overlap in the strategies involved in finding good entry points for all three of these approaches. So I think it's worthwhile to get here from the beginning. So all right, with that, we'll go to Altcoin Alert, and we will see what we can do to find or at least set up some trades. I'll sort first. Well, since we have at least a new person.
I was going to ask you because I did start. This is Natalie. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I did start watching some of your old videos. I went right to the beginning, and on the Altcoin Alert, I see all your rationale. I like listening to how you decide who you're going to trade, but I've been only used to market trades. I had bought a few books, and I have on the side the Trading View course, but I don't know how to do the steps that you do once you decide that's what you want to do a trade on.
Okay, if you're talking about,
Stop
specifically
loss.
or physically putting in a trade on an exchange, and that's beyond the scope of what we do here. You and I might have to get together separately for that. But
No, I know how to do that. I've
okay.
traded. I'm just saying, like, when you go to do your day trade on this, you don't just put in a limit order, right? Do you do stop losses? How do you come out of it? Like when
Well,
you put
you've asked 3 or 4 questions there. So, but I like your enthusiasm and your desire for knowledge. It's awesome. So that's good. But I'm going to show you some ideas on good entry points on the coins that we're going to look at, or even whether to do it at all. And then I rarely use stop losses. I use stop losses mostly to protect profit. I do a technique most of the time called ladder buying if something goes against me, and it's kind of like dollar cost averaging. I've done several videos on the topic, so you might want to look up, crypto CJ ladder buying if you.
Okay.
And I'll talk about, if I get to it, I'll talk about a specific trade that I ladder bought yesterday. So
is ladder buying different than dollar cost averaging?
it's not really.
Okay.
Dollar cost averaging is more commonly used in stocks, and ladder
Oh,
buying is just the term I used when I learned how to trade crypto. So
all right, thank you.
all right, you're welcome. We'll start with the AA scores first. And we've got a couple very bullish. Centivate, which I looked at earlier, is just like a Bitcoin Ethereum pairs on KuCoin, so didn't care for that. XYO I think is worth looking at. So let's check that one out. It's on Coinbase and KuCoin. We'll look at the Coinbase version. I think there's more volume there. All right, so we'll start with the day, get the big picture. Got the XYO listing in September, hit its high in November and kind of crashed and burned since then. Looks like over half. Yeah, it's almost 60% down, not showing many signs of recovery. Recently, yesterday, we were 3.6 cents. Today we're about 3.3 cents. So could have some room to move on a retrace. All right, now what do we do with this now? So when I was looking at this earlier, it was trending up and I was thinking, oh, this could be a trend trade because we've got some, some support around here and some more here and then some more up here. By support, I just mean, a clump of candles and then a, resistance here. So, but right now it's hit the SMA line here between the Bollinger Bands and bounced off and gone back down again. So I'm not seeing a real good entry point at the moment. If you've seen the 1, 2, 3 dip training, you recognize we have a bubble here. I mean, a squeeze and then a bubble forming here. But it just went straight down and then crossed it, never came back. So we never got a dip sequence. We just got, one dip and then, kind of a gradual rise. I'm not sure even what to do with that. So it's come back down to its 5-minute recent support right about here, 3.34 cents. That might be a decent place to get in, or at least to watch it to see if we get another dip sequence going down here. If you don't want to do that and if you do want to do that, you can just set an alert maybe at 3.3 cents here. 0.33 cents. And then reevaluate. An easier thing to do, I think, is use our divergence and set an alert on that. Because sometimes, a lot of times, a divergence alert will go off and then you get a pump. And a little bit of, doesn't work all the time. You have to, when you're using divergence, you have to make it, confirm it with other indicators. So what I like to do is, like, let's say I get this alert going off here. I'm going to look at my MFI, the money flow index, my RSI, the relative strength index. MACD is a slower one. I've got it on here, but to be honest, I don't use it that much. But I want to see these two agree with my with my, my decision, and then go ahead and get in. And then I'm looking for, maybe to the SMA line here of 1.3%, would have just gotten it. And then before it dropped again. So if you're going to put an alert on here, you just right click on it, add alert on divergence, which kind of what you're looking at. Since we're looking for a spot trade, we want positive divergence. You click that, click on once per bar close. And this will help avoid something that we call repainting. When these indicators, their alerts go off, sometimes they go off and then the market changes and they disappear again. So then they come back, that's what we call repainting. But if you only have the alerts go off when the bar closes, that happens a lot less frequently. So anyway, that would be one way to approach this. But again, just not much is really moving right now enough to even, jump in right anytime real soon. So, oh, and then there's, and if you're doing that, that type of alert on the divergence, you should move to the 15-minute chart. There'll be fewer alerts going off, but you'll get better movements. Like this one right here, we got a, almost a 2% movement. On this one here, 2.3%. So, yeah, use your 15-minute chart for your divergence alerts. You can even go up to 30 minutes or an hour. I've got some set on 4 hours for certain, to show me market conditions. And then, look at your other indicators, confirm that, and then go ahead and move forward when you see what you like. So if you don't want to mess around with divergence, you're uncomfortable with it, not ready for it, you can also do something a little simpler. You can just put an alert down here on your RSI. Most of us, this is one of the first indicators we learn. You add an alert on the RSI. 30 is oversold generally. And, once per bar close, and there you're good to go on your RSI alert. Again, also on the 15-minute chart. So.
What did you hit to get that? You right-clicked?
Yeah, right-click on the RSI. Just
Okay.
this one right here. And I do have videos on how to set up charts, and if you want to check that out.
But yeah, definitely.
Though I haven't added, I don't think I added divergence to that one yet, because I'm just now starting to teach about it, or talk about it. But the other indicators are on those videos, RSI, MACD, and probably the MFI as well. All right, so that was a long, windy approach to XYO to essentially tell you that, use your indicator alerts on either the RSI or the all indicator alert on the 15-minute chart. You could do it on the money factor index as well. That's a good one. I like this one a lot. Money flow in and out of the token. So use those indicators. That's what they're for. All right. Any questions on XYO before we look at some other coins on Altcoin Alert?
Hey, CJ.
Mm-hmm.
On there's such an extreme low volume, as I'm seeing on the bottom there. Would that be a concern that you'd have enough movement to get into a trade?
Yeah, that's a good one. All the things we've talked about, the extended holiday and just general overall, early January malaise. We're not getting a lot of volume. So, but I've traded a little bit yesterday and a pretty normal day today and done okay. So, but again, I'm using leverage, and so if I get 1% on 10x leverage, I'm happy with that. So, if you're on a spot trade and you only get 1%, even though I still think that's pretty good, you can build a balance pretty quickly, piling up ones and twos consistently. So, but Connie's right, volume is a consideration, and sometimes the best trade is just to not make any. If the market conditions are choppy and low volume, you know, you're not comfortable, then don't trade that day or for a period of time. So. All right, let's see what else we have in Altcoin Alert. So that's the AA score. I looked at Ampleforth as well, and it looked pretty similar to what we just looked at. And I'm running a little behind due to my all my extra stuff today. So
Can we
I'm
look
gonna-
at Helium?
you want to look at Helium?
I have Helium, so I'm just curious. Yeah.
Okay. Sure, we can look at one more. It's got a bullish score, and it's bullish under Elder Impulse Daily and Long-Term Sentiment, two of our favorite sorts. So it's generally trending up. It's down 5% today. See what we can do with it. Yeah, I generally, you know, ask for if people want me to look at specific coins towards the end of the call. But since you
Okay.
saw HNT on the Altcoin Alert list, I'm gonna let it slide this time and just go ahead and look at it.
All right. Thank you. I don't know rules.
It's okay. I like participation. Makes my job a little easier. All right, let's start with the day. And looks like we hit what I think is an all-time high, or at least a recent high in November. Pretty big drop after that. Recovered about half. Yeah, down 50%, up about 20, down a little bit today. Okay, in the last week or so on the hour chart, generally trending up with the dip since this morning. 5-minute chart. Just sideways in a squeeze, sitting on the SMA line, my least favorite place. So as far as a new trade goes, on a day trade, I'm not really seeing one here. You could do the kind of alerts I just talked about on the 15-minute chart on either the RSI, the MFI, or the or the divergences. Where are you in this trade, Natalie?
I've just been holding it currently because I just bought it not too long ago. So
Holding. We're day traders here, Natalie. Holding.
well, I've only held it for a little bit. That's why, because I don't know how to do the other stuff yet. That's why I'm
That's
learning.
why you're here. That's all right.
I am
That's awesome.
reading every day, all day, trying to get all this down.
I'm teasing you a little bit because you appear to have a good sense of humor. So
I have a very good, yeah.
Actually, I think everybody on the show holds something, even me. So I hold some Bitcoin and some Ethereum, but everything else I trade. All right.
Yeah, I want to learn how to do it. That's my goal.
All right. Do you recall where you got in, or was it like in November or something?
I don't have my book right next to me. I do keep a notebook on all of that, but geez, I can't remember. What's it trading at now?
All right. It's at 39.82 now.
I think I was in at 20 something. 28
Okay.
maybe.
All right. So let's 28.
Yeah, I'd have to go and look in. I have a book.
Okay, there's I'm seeing some support on the 1 hour down here around 36. What would I do? I would sell part of that. I mean,
Yeah.
not financial advice, but
No, I get it. Yeah.
or set a stop loss, like right around this. That's why I was looking for some support. Yeah, like 35.9. You could set a stop loss there, so you'd protect your profit and still give it room to move back up.
Okay.
And you asked about stop losses earlier. This is where I use them when I'm in profit and I want to stay in longer. I'll put a stop loss to protect at least a portion of my profit. And then, I feel pretty good about that. The downside is, and I've said this many times, my stop losses are wick magnets. If I have a stop loss, especially a tight one, a wick's going to come and grab it and knock me out, but that's okay. If I've put a stop loss there, then I'm content to get out of the trade at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's HNT. Let's go to Altcoin Alert and what we've had so much fun with lately, and that's the at least I have, is the long-term sentiment sort. Because you might recall the Altcoin Alert, it was a Tuesday afternoon call when Josh Frank got on and said how much success people could have if they just bought off the long-term sentiment sort, like the top 5 or 10 or 20, I can't even remember the number, but and they had just buying those had like over 1,000% success rate over the course of a year. I'm not explaining this very well. It was a while ago, but this is just part of my daily routine now, is to go to this long-term sentiment sort and look for very bullish and you know, since I trade leverage, very bearish as well. So, and then I'm looking for one other confirmation too. It's really nice if you can get like this scenario here. On Phantom, we've got very bullish on the long-term sentiment and bullish on the Elder Impulse Daily, which is so we've got, you know, the word on the street, the sentiment stuff, and Twitter feels good about this token, and then the technicals do as well. So we like that. I'm less concerned about the AA score, but this one's still bullish. We're up 16% already, might be played out. That's probably one of the few negatives, but otherwise Phantom looks really good right now. So let's give it a look. I think that's on my list. Yes. Quick look at the day chart. Okay, 340 was the high back in late October. 328 in early November. And really nice move last couple days, all the way up to 288. You know, up 40% in 4 days. That's really good. Does make me concerned, might be played out. So on the 5 minute, towards the top of the Bollinger Band, might wait for a retrace, you know, with some of the alerts we've talked about. If I could catch it down here and ride it back to where it is now, yeah, that's a really nice trade, 10%. So yeah, I think that's what I would do, is put an alert here on the divergences, see if we can catch one of these. Sometimes RSI is one of the divergence options, as is MFI. Like it'll list which indicators it's diverging from here. You know, HIST is histogram, the MACD histogram, stochastic. You probably heard of the stochastic RSI. MOM is a momentum indicator. I pulled some of them out of this list and I left the ones I knew. So, yeah, I'd put an alert here and wait for it to dip. Let's see if it has bounced off the SMA line once earlier today. It did dip below, bounced off the Bollinger Band and came back pretty strong too. So, you know, I don't know if this is going to go through a full dip sequence anytime soon, but could be a good one to catch. All right, any questions on Phantom?
A quick question for you, CJ. Have you?
Okay.
I've not seen you use that divergence for many indicators before. I've missed a couple of sessions with you. Is that something new that you're using?
It is. Were you a little late today? Because I went over it in some detail earlier.
Yeah, I was 5 minutes late. Sorry.
That's right when I talked about it. So no worries.
I'll get it on the recording then. All right.
Yeah, and I'll probably have to go through it some because I've gone through it kind of fast. But you know, we talked about a little bit in the last couple of months about divergence with the RSI and some of the other indicators. And I found this indicator on TradingView that puts them all in one place, which I thought was pretty cool. And
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's another way. it's another way to do dip trades. I mean, it's not quite the same, but what we're looking for is kind of a trend, a pullback within the trend, and then a continuation. And this can help you identify those kind of things. So
Yeah, for sure.
all right.
Looks interesting. Thank you. I'll get it on the recording.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions on FTM? We'll look at one more on Altcoin Alert before we move to iCoinPro. And so this is something you could spot trade, or you could use some leverage with FTM on certain exchanges. Let's short something. As more of a leverage trader now, I like to have a short and a long going at all times. I don't do it just to do it. Obviously I want some market indicators to help me with that, but that way something's going my way most of the time. So right now we've got bearish long-term sentiment on Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash. I traded this BCH I think yesterday with this same thing and picked up 2.4% on 10x leverage. That's 24%. That's a really good trade. It took about 24 hours. So that one worked out pretty well. Let's look at Litecoin. I haven't traded that one as a short before. I use Litecoin to move money between exchanges sometimes, and my good friend Connie taught me that. So, all right, so here we are on Litecoin. Let's go to the day. And we had a run up here in November. I guess that's a trend we saw when Bitcoin hit its all-time high. And then, yeah, it hasn't done much since dropping nearly 50%. On the hour, man, just sideways city. All right, on 5 minute, yeah, nice dip sequence here. A lot of the coins did. I did pretty well with this morning, and then I caught this too on a couple other coins. So and divergence helped with that. So we could do an alert on divergence and try to catch, or actually we're doing a short. We got a momentum divergence here indicated a couple hours ago. That's already run out. So I think I'd want to do another one of these. And try to trade out of that. We did have the MFI shoot above outside its range right about here. So that would have been another type of alert you can set. I'll go ahead and show an example of that one.
Buy, CJ?
MFI is the money flow index. It's or indicator, money flow something.
Yeah, then that would be an indicator to buy.
Well, I'm about to show you. So this is for, yeah, Natalie, you're new to day trading. This probably wouldn't apply to you yet. We're going to talk about shorting something with leverage.
Okay.
So, so what you would do, for those of you interested in shorting something like this, you set an alert on 60, put your once per bar close, and then create that alert. Actually, another way to do this is to click crossing down instead of just crossing. And what that'll do is it'll do this. It'll tell you that it's gone up, run its course, and it's coming back down, and then you get in on this downward movement. So you get in around here. Might be too small to see, but it does go against you at first, then it drops down here, 0.3% on a 5-minute chart, not bad. But again, you'd probably want to, I gotta get used to switching to the 15-minute chart. You're gonna want to do most of these alerts on some of the larger time frames if you're trying to get, say, 2, 3, 4%. So yeah, on Litecoin, I'd probably put an alert on the divergence here, or I don't know if I'd go up all the way to 60 or 80 or something like that. You put one around 70. Crossing down, create, and that's my alert. So if it goes above this value and then goes down, you catch the trend going down. All right, So that's my theoretical short on Litecoin. Any questions on that? All right, any questions on what I've covered for Altcoin Alert before I move on to iCoinPro? Okay. Very well. iCoinPro. This morning I was on the RSI SPY. I was looking for, overbought and oversold. It looks like at the moment on the 1 hour chart, it's telling, I don't have to go through a bunch of charts for individual coins. This tool of iCoinPro will help you find that kind of thing. I've already talked about RSI alerts, and this can help you choose those coins to place those alerts and get some really good entry points. So we've got Sushi and Binance Coin, both good projects to trade that are oversold and probably due for a recovery. Let's look at Sushi. It tends to move better than Binance Coin. No, actually, I was thinking Bitcoin Cash. No, actually, Binance Coin can move quite a bit, but it's a more expensive coin. That's what I was thinking. All right, so Sushi, and we're gonna click on this down, this menu, and it'll give me a chart. And what is this? All right, day chart on Sushi. We're gonna try to find a long on this. And had a big drop here, pretty good recovery. Yeah, got back up to 1050. I remember this. I've got an unintentional swing trade on this. That's when you make a day trade and it goes badly against you, but you don't want to sell it, so you hold it for a while. I've got one of those on Sushi. So what goes up to 1060 and then drops another $2. That's kind of a bummer. Yeah. Okay, on the 1 hour, what's the recent trend? Sideways and down, looks like. So yeah, here's that 1050 again down here. All right, what can we do with this now? 5-minute chart. Oh, this is no fun. Squeeze, a little bit of bubble, but just trending, all trending down. Squeezes together again, bubbles out again. No real good, dip sequence here. That's kind of what we're looking for.
What's that top green line?
This one here?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's top of the Bollinger Band.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. If you watch the 1, 2, 3 dip video, that it'll talk about that. You're on my email list, right, Natalie? Yeah,
I did get emails from you. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, if you watch that 1, 2, 3 dip training, you'll see that there. All right, so we've got kind of like a single dip and then sideways, no real dip sequence here. And now it's like one starting to form. And we've got our indicators pointing down. So we definitely don't want to get in now. Again, this is like the others I've shown you. I'm going to go to my 15-minute chart, right click on here and do a divergence alert. And hopefully catch this down here when it's ready to come back up. Or you can do something the same on the MFI or the RSI. You can go out, longer than 15 minutes, 30 minutes or so. Obviously, there'll be fewer indications or alerts on the indicators, but the longer you go out, the more reliable they are, generally speaking. All right. Any questions on Sushi? Okay, so that's the RSI SPY. You can sort this the other way if you want to look for something to short. Just about everything is overbought right now. So yeah, we could look at a lot of these are Bitcoin pairs though. As far as something that's shortable, FTM's on this list. We looked at that earlier. Atom is one you could look at if you want to look for a short based on this information. So ICP as well. These are two I've traded before, even Link. So let's look at the other information source within iCoinPro that we like, and that's the Buddy Coin Crawler. And I like to sort by average low to SMA. Average low is 24-hour low of the coin, and the SMA line is that middle red line you see between the Bollinger Bands on my chart. So I'm looking for 5% or more, shows me the coin has room to move. I'm not seeing many here. When you see 8, 9, 10%, those are better. But we don't really have much like that right now. Market's been a lot sideways today. I have traded AGLD before, and Immutable X. It's got pretty low volume, but let's see if there's a USD pair on these. Not really. I have traded GXS before on Binance. It's been a while. Let's check that one out.
They all kind of look the same this week.
You're seeing a trend here, yeah. Since most coins follow Bitcoin, they tend to follow whatever Bitcoin's doing. So, all right, on the day chart for GXS, big pump here back in early December. Oh, that was a December 3rd crash. So it pumped that day and then crashed big. Yeah, 78% in, about 2 weeks. Hasn't recovered much of it. One hour trending down, 5 minute sideways squeeze. Let's see what the distance is. Well, we know it's around 5 or 6% to the SMA line, double that. Yeah, to the top of the Bollinger Band, around 12%. So if you can catch this, we just did have divergence go off, but it really wasn't supported by the other indicators. And that'll happen sometimes. This will show up, and then I try to look at the subsequent candle for a little bit, see what it's going to do, especially on the 5-minute chart, because sometimes it'll pop up and then just drop again. This didn't really do much after the alert went off. All right. So again, we moved to the 15-minute chart. If you want to trade this, and probably do your divergence alert. We're down here on the MFI or the RSI. I'm starting to repeat myself, so that's not good. Well, guys, that's about all I have for iCoinPro. We're about 45 minutes into this, so I do want to have some, 5 or 10 minutes available for general questions about Altcoin Alert, iCoinPro, and just general trading strategies. And so this is that time. If you want to ask about a specific coin, we can do that as well.
Do you have?
CJ, I was curious.
Go ahead, you go.
Just a quick question. On your divergence, what is that? Like I see your divergence line on price. What's your opposing indicator that you use to base your trade? Like I use divergence on what I call TDI, which is kind of like an RSI. I don't have it typically on price. Which one do you use it on? Or does it matter?
Yeah, that's a good question. This all indicators indicator lists the indicators. It's
I see.
right
Okay.
here. So
whatever you have on your screen is what it bases the divergence on.
Yeah, and I can add.
Okay.
I mean, it gives you a bunch of them. Go to the settings here.
Right. Okay.
And some of these.
No, I was just curious because
you might know these
because I usually. I've seen a few of those.
Yeah, CCI, OBV. I took these out, but stock traders or Forex traders might be more into these than I am. I looked them up, but I thought I've never heard of those in crypto, so I got rid of them. They were kind of cluttering things up. So I just left the ones I
Yeah,
knew
no.
was comfortable with. And so, you know,
Okay.
yeah.
No, that's
it's
fine. That was
the
just,
ones that are
yeah,
listed.
I didn't see that. So that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and
That's
that's an
that's a great
example.
feature. I use it extensively. Divergence is a great
Mhm.
way to find your entries and or your exits.
Yep. Yeah, like on this one, we've got price action rising a little bit, and MFI is one of the ones that's listed. If we look at the MFI and the
Mhm.
corresponding time, you know, it's going down
Dropping.
considerably.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and what happened is, you know, shortly after this painted, you
Went
know,
down.
we got a decrease. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to put a percentage on this. I've been using it for about 6 weeks. I don't know if any of the indicators are any better than any of the others, but you know, I've had some success with it. The frustrating thing is the
Yeah.
repainting. This is a little deceptive when you look at it in hindsight, if you back test it, because sometimes
Mhm.
these will go off and then the market will change and then like this will move, you know, kind of go with the flow, and then it changes the value on the back testing. So keep that in mind if you try to use it that way. All right.
Cool,
Any
thanks.
other questions on? Well, Natalie had a question. Go ahead.
I just wanted to know, with your day trading, do you keep one wallet just for that? Or do you still use multiple wallets?
You mean wallets or exchanges?
I guess that would be the question. If
Yeah.
you're doing day trading, then you just doing it on the exchange and you don't need a wallet? I mean, I don't understand how that, do you just keep it on the exchange?
Yeah, just keep it on the exchange. It's impractical as a day trader to move your money back and forth between wallet and exchange for you know, for each trade.
You're
I do
not worried about somebody stealing it?
That's the risk you take when you're a day trader.
I just had $675 stolen from me.
Yeah, that sucks.
And
All
they
of
can
this.
trace it right to the blockchain, but we can't tell who it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I think it's happened to most of us in some way where, you know, either, you know, got mismanaged or I have not had a large amount like that before. And I think if you stick to the better exchanges, it's less likely to happen.
Well, it was on Solana. I had bought some Solana and I was putting it on the website to stake it, but there was some glitches and it was giving me a
Okay.
hard time. So I waited till the next morning. When I went in the next morning, my wallet was empty. And with a lot of help, it took like 6 different people to look into it. And we finally found where it is, just no way to get it. It's a person took it. They show the transfer and everything. So
That's pretty
then
different than what I'm doing. I think what most of us are doing as traders. As traders, you're going to keep your crypto on an exchange like you know, Binance or Bybit or Coinbase Pro, you know, something like that. And I think they even have insurance up to a point. So
good.
Yeah, because you just can't move it back and forth all the time. So but what you're doing when you're staking, you know, that's a long-term play. That's way different than what we're talking about here. And
oh, I know. I was just thinking if I ever went to, like, I was just wondering how you set yourself up so that if because down the road, that's what I want to do. I want to do what you're doing.
Okay. Well,
I'm trying to
email me later and we'll talk some more in detail about some of the logistics with you know, wallets and exchanges and things like that. So
okay.
Cool. All right.
I want to apologize to everybody else on the call if I've taken up too much time. I'm sorry. First call.
Good to have you. It's all good. So we were all where you were, probably not that long ago. So all right. Any other questions? Oh, Daniel, you look like you want to say something.
No question, but just a comment. I know that, you know, I haven't done a lot of trading myself. I have a little bit going, and you know, the commonality even in, you know, in what I do, particularly or in Forex, is the solid, you know, how solid is an exchange. So my understanding, I haven't looked into it yet, is, and of course, being up here in Canada, we have huge regulations. We have massive amounts of insurance on our accounts. There is a new brokerage that you may have heard of. It's called BitBuy. Up here, I don't know, actually, I shouldn't say it's new. It's called BitBuy up here in Canada. My understanding is that they're extremely very regulated and extremely secure as far as that goes. A lot of insurance. lot of regulation behind it, a lot of, I guess, similar to what you would look for in a regular currency exchange if you wanted to ensure that your money was safe. Because I know, with a lot of exchanges, and I've had issues with American exchanges when I've gone down and said, oh, I'm from Alberta. It's like, click, they don't even want to talk to you because the regulations are so strict up here. So might be something to look at if you're looking for an exchange where, maybe it's a bit potentially more secure than some of the ones that are off of the North American continent.
Yeah.
Just a
good point.
you never know.
Yeah, I'm always interested in it. Could you put the name of that in the chat?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'll make sure I get the proper info. If not, if I don't get it in the chat, I'll send you the info on it or the site, and you can.
All right.
You
Cool.
can have a look at it.
Cool. Well, I'm going to wrap up everything. Well, I do want to make one more point. For the reasons brought up by both Daniel and Natalie, I don't trade all on one exchange. I trade on 4 primarily. I do spot trading on KuCoin and Coinbase Pro, and my leverage is on Bybit and Phemex. So haven't had really any problems with any of those that couldn't be handled reasonably quickly. Not advice. I know people have had trouble with exchanges before, but overall my experience has been pretty good, especially considering the volume of trades I do. So with
CJ,
that, okay.
why Phemex?
Phemex is, I think I learned, I know why. The first time I started leverage trading, the person who was doing so recommended Phemex. So I had an account pretty early. Then I'm on, this carbon bot, which trades on Bybit. So actually most, 2/3 of what I do is on Bybit. And then, but I kept the Phemex account for some specific trades that I want to do. And I want to spread my money around in case, something bad does happen. I won't be totally annihilated. So that's.
Is that FEMEX?
It's PHEMEX.
I would have never gotten that in a million years. Okay.
Okay, guys, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop the recording now. For those of you watching on the recording, thank you for doing so.